Morning traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Tuesday, the 7th of November. Here we can see pound yen has risen to the top of our tables on both, so that's going to be something that we continue to focus on going into today's video. Euro yen has obviously appeared as well, and pound US dollar, euro US dollar. Now, dollar's an interesting one. I've had a little look at the dollar charts today. I don't quite think that that weakness is something I really want to focus in on right now. I've actually just bring in the Discord channel. I just want to bring in the dashboard for today, and you can see basically what we need to look at is how different types of markets are performing as a block. And you can see here euro performing pretty well. Now, we were in a euro Swiss position long. Obviously this would suggest that yes, it's good to watch euro and expect that euro to come higher, but the Swiss francs actually gained a lot of strength. If we look across the board here, we can see that Aussie Swiss is down. We can see that euro Swiss down, CAD Swiss down, pound Swiss down, Swiss yen up, Kiwi Swiss down, dollar Swiss flat. So that's telling me that the actual Swiss franc is actually fairly strong as well at the moment. So our euro Swiss wasn't really going anywhere. It was moving sideways, and then it broke through a daily low. So we'll go discuss that in a moment. But euro in general is looking pretty good. I'm watching the yen complex here as well. I want to see this start to rise a little bit because obviously we've got yen as a weak currency. What I can see just from visually from this is the fact that the Australian dollar is fairly weak. Euro and pound are looking strong. New Zealand dollar looking fairly weak as well. So potentially we could be looking at the likes of a move to come on sort of euro, Oz and Kiwi, and then potentially pound Oz as well as pound Kiwi. So there's potentials for these to start kind of forming something at some point. So let's go back into our tables. We can see that's what we're going to be focusing on today. You can see Aussie here, Kiwi on the strong side of the tables, but showing weakness on the dashboard. So there's potential for that to fade as well. So this could probably change throughout the rest of the day. Going on to the slate for today, there's been lots of data out already. I mean, if we look and scroll to the daily one here, I'm actually just going to filter this down to medium and high impact only. And when we come out of there, you can see lots of data already come out this morning, especially out of the UK, China and Australia. We've also had some euro data drop. So lots to come as well, lots of dollar data this afternoon. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can kind of balance some of the market moves that we're kind of witnessing at the moment. So let's go dive in. Let's go discuss euro Swiss first. I was watching this morning when we were above the moving average, so I left the trade open because we were above the moving average again. You know, my theory is if we're above the moving average, price could continue to push higher. That's why we entered in and around this level here. So I was happily holding that. Within the next sort of couple of hours, price did turn over, and what I was watching was this zone in here. The market shouldn't be making new lower lows if it's going to continue to push higher in sort of our theory. If you go to the daily chart as well, we created a new daily candlestick low. So to me, the momentum for euro Swiss to move to the upside had gone, so I've exited that position. What I will wait for is to see if we get a different kind of position in. So if we look at euro Swiss here, for instance, you know, we've got that sort of flat line in there. If price continues to kind of do this, then we should see the averages kind of pull towards each other. If price then breaks back above the averages, and then we have sort of euro on the strong side, Swiss on the weak side of the tables, then I'm going to be looking to get long in this market again. So unfortunately we came out just for a little bit of a small profit there, but it has opened up for us to kind of look elsewhere now. So one of those is euro yen. Obviously the daily chart here closed bullish yesterday, so I like the idea of looking at potential euro yen upside from the weekly time frame. We pointed out the fact that we've breached this 159.50 high, and I quite like the idea of price moving to 169. So I think there's plenty of space here to look for a long. So I'm watching the hourly chart now because we can see that we've breached this area here. In fact, we actually talked about getting long here last week at 160, but we were put off because 160 had acted as support and resistance in the past. But if we had had got long 160, would be about 70 pips up now. So we need to just kind of wait for a similar opportunity, which was a break back above the 50 MA. So you can see this area down through here, which is around about that 160 spot 60 handle. That area there has acted as a resistance looking left just through there, a support. We also have the 50 MA running through there. So if price comes back below that, closes back above it, it could be an entry idea for us to go long, very similar to what we are waiting for on pound yen as well. Now pound yen, we set an alert down here yesterday at 184 spot 50 handle. I have moved that alert up a little bit just to match the 50 MA. In the video I explained that the my support for this market will be based on how it reacts to the 50 moving average. Again, I want to see price kind of consolidate underneath it and then break back above it for an entry. If you're in the original entry, price has come back a little bit. We were about 170 pips up, at one point about 200 pips up, but now back to about 120. So if you are in that original position there, this is how that one looks. There's your entry, there's your stop, there's your target. To be honest, if I was in this move now, I'd just be tracking my stop loss under this 200 moving average, so I'd have reduced risk to about 30 pips rather than keeping that 100 pip risk. But I'm watching how the market reacts to this point. You could go a little bit lower, you could go to the 30-minute time frame, you could try and see how price reacts here. You can see obviously we've got some highs forming at this point, so if price was to take those highs out, that would suggest that buyers are coming back in also. So the 30-minute or the hourly is something I would watch. We're coming into the hourly 50 moving average now. If we look at it from support and resistance point of view, obviously that area down there I think is quite important because we obviously gapped down and then rallied. So there's obviously some buying going on around about the 184.70 and below. So we may still kind of push towards that level there before seeing a continuation to the upside. If it was to breach that low, I think price would probably come and retest this sort of 183.75 level again. So that's something to also be aware of. But because we've got pound strong, yen weak, I like the idea of looking for longs. And the daily chart here is a bullish close. So like I said, if we can continue to stay above this daily candle low of 184.56, I think that we should be looking for those long ideas up into the 186.50. And if we do get a little bit of an entry there, we've got like 130 pips to work with, so we definitely could have a nice nice potential move up to that point. So pound yen, euro yen definitely wants to watch. I think if we go on to the dollar pairs, however, this is why I'm not so interested in these markets. Euro dollar came up into this previous high around about the 1.0760. We had a bit of a rejection there and we've breached daily low. So the only way I'd be interested in this now is if it formed like a bullish pin candle to suggest that we could potentially come up into the next level of support. I don't really want to try and jump on a market that's potentially reversing and pushing back to the downside. I don't really think that even if we've got an hourly sort of bullish move there, I don't think that's something I want to be interested in too much. And that is also the same with cable. If we just flick over to cable, we've also breached the 123.25, but we formed a daily bearish close. We're coming back within this range now, so that could mean price could come back to the other side of the range. Very interesting market, obviously the US dollar at the moment. Other data suggesting that there could be some inflationary pressures coming back, but then we've got poor NFP numbers. So there's really a balance of what the Federal Reserve are going to do next. The Fed are happy to hold rates at the moment, and the NFP data supported that move, but they do have other inflationary pressures around. Now let's just flick over to the other two charts of my interest then. So obviously we spoke about the fact that the Australian dollar was weakening. We can see that from a momentum point of view on the dashboard as well. So what would that suggest to me? So pound Aussie, potentially we could see some upside. Just to do a quick breakdown here on the daily chart, you can see we came in from these lows around about the 1.89 handle, just down through here, and we've rallied from that point. We're now coming into some areas of interest. If I was just jump up to a weekly chart, sorry, you can see that this is a potential strong point. There's resistance up in here as well, which is around about the sort of 1.99 handle. And also I'm kind of watching this sort of area in here. Now I just want to highlight these weekly highs. So around about the 1.93 would be my sort of area of interest there as well. Now if I go to the daily time frame, we're fairly close to that point, so it's only about 140 pips away. We could refine this down as well to be a little bit higher, like that for instance, and if I just pop another label there, that would probably, yeah, around about that 1.93 handle. So I'm watching the hourly. We haven't got a crossover yet in the averages. 30-minute we do. We've obviously had a large rally overnight due to poor China data and the RBA holding interest rates. So we're back in this kind of level of resistance, consolidating. If we can kind of catch up here, break below, you know, something like that is what I would be ideally looking for. And that's the same really across the board in terms of if I was to flick over to Euro Oz doing a very similar thing. Daily chart finding support. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we haven't really crossed over just yet, or on the hourly, sorry, we haven't crossed over. So although I feel like price could go and target these swing highs in here due to the momentum, we need to wait for a little bit of a retracement. I think what we could see, obviously, if that daily was to close as is, maybe tomorrow look for a pullback, then look to try and execute some long positions. We've come from this key area of support. There's potential to come up into the key highs just around about the 1.6830. So they're on my radar, just not on my radar right now. I think I'm going to watch the daily closes there, but pound yen, I still feel there's option to go long, just waiting to see how that can develop. Can it give us a position in? And also euro yen, watching for a position into this market as well. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that all made sense, and I'll catch you in the next one.